Hey everyone, today I'm still out here reviewing some muzzle devices, and so I'm going to be reviewing this one here from Manticore Arms. This is the Manticore Arms NightBrake, and that is sitting on my M92 PAP from Century. Now, I've had this for probably about a year and a half now, and ever since I got it, it's been wearing this muzzle device. I can honestly say, having this as a pistol, which hopefully I'll be SBRing it soon, but currently it sits as a pistol, this thing is extremely effective. It is certainly not necessarily the most pleasant thing to be next to, but if you're looking for something to keep your muzzle really flat, this is an excellent option, and hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate that here today with this video. First, let me go ahead and just list some of the specs over here on the side. I don't want to waste a whole lot of time going into it because I know a lot of people really don't care about the exact weight or dimensions or materials or anything like that. So it's over there. You can pause the video if you want to take a look at them, but if not, we're just going to keep rolling on ahead. So the way this thing attaches, if you look here on the front, you see that little detent right there. Now, some M92s are going to come with that detent, some may not. So Manticore Arms does offer those little detent kits. So if you buy one of these from Manticore Arms, you will be able to install this. If you don't have a detent, you might be able to just torque it down really tight, but you probably won't have the timing correct. So I definitely recommend getting one of those detent kits if your gun didn't come with one already from them. Also, as far as the thread pitching on this is a very unique thread pitch. They do make these NightBrakes for just standard 14x1 left-hand threads, as well as some of the other like Bulgarian threads and all that. However, the Yugo NPAP pistols are a very unique thread pitch, so make sure you get ones marked that as such. I'll put what that thread pitch is over here on the side since I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's one really crazy left-hand thread pitch. So anyway, so I remember when I first threaded this thing on, I had to cut off the barrel or the thread protector that was on there at first, and got this thing on. And one of the first things I did with it is I took it through a Carbine Class. This was back before the opinion letter from the ATF saying that you can't shoulder these. So I took it through a class where I was shouldering it the whole time, and it was working fantastic. It sucked for the people next to me on the line. They absolutely hated it, but it was excellent for me being able to keep it on target. I will say I was really caught off guard the first time I was down on my back shooting from the supine position. I had my knees up shooting between my legs, and I gotta tell you, the muzzle blast coming off of this thing was slapping me in the thighs so hard. At first I didn't know what was going on, but it was definitely not comfortable. So as far as the side blast from something like this, it is not pleasant whatsoever. So if you're looking for something to use in close quarters proximity to other people, if you're working in teams or anything like that, you might want to go with something a little bit different than this. However, if you're just looking for something to make this way easier to shoot, someone who's a little bit recoil sensitive, then this is definitely a great option. And again, even just shooting from the cheek in a pistol configuration, this thing works excellently well. And even if you don't have anything to use as a reference back here, it will still keep it pretty flat just shooting it from your hand, again, as I hope to demonstrate. The other thing I want to show is, even though obviously right now it's daytime, I can't really show you how much of a fireball this thing shoots at night. I'm going to be coming back out here just before sunset, because that's about as late as I'm allowed to shoot out here, just to show you how much of a fireball this thing shoots. And even during the day, during some of the filming I'm about to do, you'll probably see a pretty good fireball occasionally coming out of this thing, so that should be kind of fun to watch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this thing through the same exact test I just ran my King Comp through, which, just for reference, I just reviewed the Strike Industries King Comp on my 300 Blackout Upper. I'll have a link to that video up here in the corner. I really like that thing. What I did with that is I ran it through a test where I'm going to be shooting at about 10 yards, see how well this thing stays on target and see basically how fast I can shoot accurately. So let me go walk you down to the target. We'll talk exactly about what I'm going to do. We'll run through that and then we'll wrap things up. All right, so just like with the King Comp, I have this target up here. It's about a half-size silhouette, and I'm going to be aiming more or less for this little red circle right here. Just like with the other one, I don't know the measurements off the top of my head, but it looks about 3 inches high by 2 inches wide. And again, this is about 10 yards from where I'm going to be shooting. So it should give us a pretty good idea of how well this thing is going to stay on target, and hopefully I'll be able to balance shooting quickly with getting this thing back on target, but it should be fairly easy from my prior experience with this muzzle device. I'm also going to have a camera set up down here facing this target, so you'll be able to see the hits as they happen, and we'll be able to get a pretty good approximation of about the total elapsed time to get, say, 5 rounds on target. I tried to do it within a time limit last time. However, I realized while I'm shooting that quickly, I can't hear the beeper from my shot timer. So we'll do the best we can to see how well I can keep this on target. So we'll go ahead and get set up, and we'll get shooting. All right, so just for reference, I'm using a KVAR Circle 10 magazine, and I'm shooting, I think, standard Wolf full metal jacket out of it. So, you know, just your standard stuff. And right here where I'm at under the shade, you still might see, again, a pretty good fireball. So what I'm gonna do is, again, I'm gonna try to get as many rounds as I can within that red in a short amount of time. We'll see how I do. Maybe we'll try to see how fast I can get 5 shots within that area. And again, we have the downrange camera so you can see the shots as they happen. All right, so let's get started. All right, just getting my dot dialed in. By the way, it's a Bushnell TRS-25. Should be replacing it soon, but that's what's sitting on here currently. All right, not bad. Try to do the same for the head, and I'll try to go a little bit quicker. All right, so I believe that was 10 shots each. Probably saw some fireball, because I definitely think I did. And it looks like we kept all but one of those last shots within the designated area. So definitely an impressive thing. Since I have those other ones saved for posterity, I'm just going to try to shoot this thing as fast as I can so you can see how flat it will stay. Again, just shooting it from the cheek. All right, and it also has one of the Weapon Tech last shot hold open followers. So, you know, not necessary, but it's an interesting thing to have nonetheless. But as you can see, it closes as soon as you pull the mag out. All right, so let's pull that target down and we'll go, or let's go look at the target and then we'll wrap things up. All right, so as you can see, I don't know what my time was. These shots down here, I think were just from that last string that I did, so you can ignore those. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All 10 shots. We have one right on the borderline, but really more or less within this area. I'll put the elapsed time of those 10 shots just so we have an idea. And again, up here on the head, I think a little bit faster, we'll see from the time. And I just had one over here off his shoulder. So as you can see, very, very effective at getting back on target quickly. So like I told you at the beginning, this thing is excellent for kind of recoil mitigation and keeping that thing on target as fast as you possibly can. So I think with some pretty impressive results. All right, so we are back out here. It's about as dark as I can allowably shoot out here just before sunset. So hopefully we'll be able to see even more of a fireball because there's a pretty visible fireball even during the day. So we'll shoot a couple rounds and we'll see how it looks. If you want a flamethrower, this is what you want. So definitely some target indicator there, and some self-blinding to take into consideration. But definitely good as a brake, but very, very bright. As you can see, it definitely shoots a fireball, but it definitely keeps things very, very flat. So if you're looking for a muzzle device that's going to keep this thing level and on target as much as possible, this is definitely the thing for you. Or again, if you're looking for someone, if you're trying to get something for someone who's really recoil sensitive, this is an excellent option. However, if you're working in teams or anything like that, you may want to look elsewhere. Manticore does make some other muzzle devices that fit the thread pattern on M92s and M85s, so feel free to look into those. I'll put a link to Manticore Arms' website down below. They have some really cool options, not just for AKs, but for just about anything out there, including Tavors and I think AUGs and all that. So they're definitely doing some cool stuff. I still really like this muzzle device. It's probably going to stay at home here for a while, but I'm also not room clearing with this thing, although I think it would be very good for that. So again, all the links will be in the description below. If you want, you can check out my review on this pistol. I'll have that link as well. But as always, I hope you're able to get something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.